Essex, a helping hand with your land.
Neil from Essex here with a little bit of a different Crazy Neil's deals for you today. This one is
auction style.
Auction style. Nate here is taking care of a lot of the remaining stuff that we don't have good homes for in this move. A lot of the things that we kind of keep sticking in closets and stuff. Oh, this would be nice to have someday. And you know how that goes.
We're in the process of getting an online auction together with Hess Auction Group. They're a local company here near us in Mannheim. And they are cataloging a sale for us. That'll be an online-only auction starting February 17th and ending on March 3rd. It'll be a 2-week sale with a soft close. If somebody bids in the last minute, that particular item will extend the bidding for another minute until everybody stops.
Nate and I are going to take a little walk around the building here this morning, show you some of the areas here that are set up, some of the stuff that's being cataloged, give you an idea of what's going to be the auction. You'll find the links down here at the bottom for it to go check it out. We'll stick them all around on the screen here too. We're posting this video at a time the auction is live. You now can log in, check it out, and go ahead and bid. They're required for dealer standards. We have to hang them, so I have to go buy one now because they're auctioning them off.
You left them here, and I was cleaning. Somebody will buy them.
So if you are into dealership, signage, posters, branded stuff, there is a sea of it that's going to be in this auction. A lot of times when we take this stuff down, we have put it up on a shelf instead of throwing it away. And so there's things here from kind of all different eras. I see Kubota posters here spanning about the last 5 years. Yep. Some New Holland seasonal promotions over here. Stuff from eXmark, snapper things. We were a snapper dealer a while ago. Do you got a favorite piece or two out here?
There's a few things that stick out to me that I think are pretty neat. There is a Kubota tractor History in America poster, which starts at 1972 with the first U.S. Kubota tractor, and then it dates all the way through the 2000s. So that's pretty cool. We must have had that for a while because it doesn't have anything new since 2005, I believe. There's a Simplicity banner over here that is neat as well. It starts with their progression of tractors starting in the 1950s through the 2000s.
I'm sure you'll get a bunch of interest in the T8 Genesis banners. Those are cool.
That one's a pretty neat banner. We have a bunch of Miller Pro and posters and pictures.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't done these brands for a while. Little Wonder, Mantis, and Grasshopper. That's awesome. A neon eXmark sign.
This was brand new in the box, and we just pulled it out for the sale. We have another one of my favorites is a steel Santa sign. Have an orange Christmas.
It's metal too.
It is. You have an old school Messick's
E-Town
in Abbottstown yardstick.
Selling my memories, Nate.
Sorry.
You don't have a comeback for that besides sorry.
I really didn't.
So some of these are a little bit bigger, outside signage now, right? A lot of what we talked through over here was the inside bannery stuff.
Yep, so over here we have a New Holland ag and construction sign, which these, you could own a piece of Messick's history. These are outside for how many years?
At least 15 years probably.
Yeah. We have a New Holland service sign, which was hung up in our service department, as well as some woods and crone signs as well. That wood sign was hung on the outside of our upper warehouse, as long as I know, was up there.
So this is the heavier branded dealership signage, right? The expensive stuff off the front of the building.
That's correct. We have some other smaller indoor stuff, but for the most part, in this section here, I would say is some more outdoor signs.
There's a couple here that would be great shop signs.
I tell you one thing, if I had a big giant barn, it would be covered in signs.
I know it would be.
Both these case parts and service signs were hung inside. The parts one here behind our porch counter, and the service was up in the shop.
Now the big case one, this one's not lit. This is just
it's some sort of vinyl cover.
Yeah, durable, serious vinyl cover, stretched really tight over a metal frame.
Yeah, this was hung outside as well, right? So it has a frame with it as well. So if somebody wanted to clean it up and hang it up in their barn,
And then easily the most valuable out of the lot here has got to be the Messick Farm Equipment sign.
How long was that hung outside?
Again, I'd say we're 15 years or so.
Okay.
Probably that was on the front of the building.
That has some history to it, that's for sure.
So you and I are sitting here admiring this one. I don't know. This has got to be near the top of the list for me as the coolest thing out here.
It's definitely gonna be a sleeper, I think, right? This is an old cardboard, double-sided Ford air filter and fuel filter hanging sign.
Yeah. Yeah. Dirt less than a spoonful could mean an engine overhaul, right? Which is with your oddly serious looking Ford engine scientist up here.
He is
white lab coat.
Very serious about his air filter.
Right. He wears a tie with a lab coat, so he's
He's not a farmer, but he's serious about the air filter he made. That is for sure.
This is super cool. Kind of would have taken this from you if you hadn't already listed it. If you're looking for extremely boring yet extremely durable metal desks, they worked fantastically well for us, and we have a lot of them left here that we moved. And I'm sure, vintage furniture is all the rage. You've got people rewrapping things and, putting new vinyls on stuff and refurbishing. I mean, if you're into like vinyl metal chairs, I mean, we're a treasure trove of vinyl metal chairs.
Where else are you gonna find orange in one random green chair?
One thing that's a little weird and honestly a little depressing when we walk around in here now is just to see all these shelves in this place empty. Working here is a place that has such an energy to it. There's always things going on. There's this, kind of hum of people all the time. And you walk through this place now that you spend so many years and have so many memories now and see the shelves empty. It feels a little foreign and not like the place that you were used to being for a long time. So just a little unique when you walk through here and you see from edge to edge of the shelves of this place that used to be the parts department and, a decade before that, the service department. There's just a lot of history for us in this place. Where was this at?
It's in the shed.
In the shed.
Yeah, in that black container back there. I had no clue what was in there, and then we just put it together quick.
So one of the acquisitions that we made here over the years was a neighboring New Holland dealer here called Lancaster Tractor and Equipment. And one of the biggest parts of their business was selling equipment to the state. And this is a display that they would have used for trade shows and that kind of thing. But you had some great ideas on what to do with this.
Well, I'm thinking outside the box this morning, Neil. If you want to have a nice backdrop for a science fair project, look no further than this display. I mean, just yank the New Holland photos off, and by golly, A+.
A+. We all know that it's parents that do most of the work for science fair projects anyway.
Fair point.
So you could save yourself a lot of time and effort. So these have been on Crazy Neals before, but never sold when I was giving them prices. And this is, so that we're clear, a no reserve auction, right?
No reserve auction.
Everything is going to go. So these couple of grill guards are going to be up on there, and there's a lot of steel here, and I'm sure one of you has the tractors that these fit, and hey, for a couple bucks might worth having one around for when you inevitably bend up your grill guard, because so many people do.
That's a fact.
So these I do like. These were off the sign when you came up the driveway and came to what we call the circle, where all the roads break off to go to the lower warehouse or straight ahead to the shop or to the right up to the parts building. Kind of our wayfinding signs here at the store.
So these are metal with metal brackets in the back. So these are heavy duty to withstand any kind of weather outside. So we have a small Messick's one, a big Messick's one, rental, tractor trailers, Kubota sales, and another tractor trailer side.
Yeah. So I think the Kubota sales, the tractor trailers one, those would be, again, cool signs for your shop. Right from the top of the shelving in your parts department, from years ago, you would have seen these. This has the old New Holland logo on it. And these are all the signs that go around the parts department for linkage parts, hydraulic cylinders, engine oil, chain, hay equipment parts. Like, how cool to have this in your shop or in your barn if you've got, parts and stuff be around to be able to maintain your own equipment. Twine and net wrap.
And I will say,
cool.
all of these will be sold as one lot. So That'd be a great lot to check out in the sale.
What's somebody gonna use that for? Oh my goodness.
Okay.
That battery's gotta weigh 100 pounds, Nate.
It does, but luckily these are display batteries. So what you thought he was throwing me a giant battery, there ain't no battery in here. But we use these for displays, and one of them, or maybe a few of them, are cut out so you can see like the inside, the guts of a battery and what is involved there.
It's not too often you find Steiner signage. If you're a Steiner guy, this is a cool piece.
I think Steiner's a pretty unique product line, and like you said, I'm a big sign guy, and I rarely ever see Steiner banners or merchandise or signs and that sort of thing. So
yeah,
if you're a Steiner fan, here you go. It's double-sided. The back side just talks about some information. It doesn't have any pictures on it or anything, but
I think you want to point out this isn't just like a poster. This is actually on a phone, on a hardboard.
This is more than just a poster, that's for sure.
Cool piece. Where do we even start?
That's a very good question. We have a little bit of everything. We have cutting edges. We have old shop tools. One air reel. Some old Grouser backhoe pads.
So what we're looking at is this stuff that would have kind of just accumulated out in the shop as we are, prepping equipment, working on machinery. Yeah. A lot of times take off parts or accessory kits that didn't get used or tools that just haven't had a use for us in our new building.
Right, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of nice and usable things up here, that's for sure. We have a couple take-off seats. We have 3 really nice eXmark seats right here. 2 Husqvarna string trimmers that are still in the box. Couple steel trimmers that would be great for somebody that wants to tinker around with them and fix them up.
So cheap parts for projects.
That's right.
So I could talk about this because this was a bit of technology work here that I was doing. A lot of you will be aware when we go to work on tractors, a lot of computer stuff is involved. There's a lot of very expensive and proprietary software with the manufacturers and some hardware adapters and cabling and stuff that we use when hooking into a piece of equipment. This stuff is extremely expensive for us, and in an effort to try to save some money on it, we went and sought out the companies that actually make the protocol adapters and the cabling and stuff and found overseas places where you can buy some of these things. That cable right there, for us to buy that, is probably the better part of over $200 for just that part right there. The trouble was with this stuff that while it does work, it doesn't work consistently or completely. So when our service technicians would go out to work on a piece of equipment and try to use one of these things, we weren't getting consistent and correct results. So we have not used them in our own shop here, but if you're tinkering around with this kind of stuff yourself, this would be a cheap way in order to play around with your own tractor. So we started doing our own billboard ordering and printing of the banners and everything probably 3 years ago. And I have loved it because now when these things are taken down, all of the banners from the billboards come back to us rather than going back to the billboard company. And these are fantastic. For a couple reasons. They're great tarps, but for us, they're also wonderful slip and slides. Could you have a better surface for a slip and slide than this? Let me tell you. So this right here, if you're bidding, it could be a hay tarp, but think of the possibilities. You make this stuff and it's super cool, and we only ever use it once, which is just too bad. So, so we make games for fairs. Like when we go around to local trade shows and that kind of stuff, we try to do some things in our booths to draw attention, right? And for, boy, at least the last 25 years, for the Elizabethtown Fair, in particular every year, the local fair for me, we generally go out of our way to come up with a unique idea of what we're going to do that year. And this was one from about a decade ago that I thought was really cool and we just never have used for anything since. It is excavator operation. So literally here we have our little guy on his 4x8 sheet of plywood painted out here with his organs cut out, and his organs are made out of metal. One of our shop fabricators made the bones, the funny bone and everything down here.
Oh, still greasy.
And then in the bucket right here are all of his little organs to go with him. So the little tractor that goes right here in the middle of his body. And what you need to do is use your excavator to bring this thing over and drop it down into the hole. or sorry, rather pick it up out of the hole without touching the sides. At the time, I had this wired up with a little system in here that would do a continuity check between the excavator and the board, and then turn on a little timer then that lit his nose red. So this is cool.
Very cool.
We both agree that in the lot of all the stuff that's out here, might be one of the coolest things. Our store, this store that we're at here now, was built in the late 70s. And I'm sure somebody here could tell us, but I would suspect that this is probably one of the original International Harvester signs from when this store was first constructed. I don't know how it survived to this point. I believe it was in my uncle's barn.
This is
right?
what I would classify as a barn find, because it definitely was. The condition of this for being 30 plus, 40 plus years old is amazing. Now at the top here, at one point it was repainted at some point from this section up on both sides. But by far one of the coolest IH signs you're gonna find.
So vertical standing, right? This isn't a horizontal one. This is gonna stand up, and we are what, probably a solid 12, 14 feet high?
I would agree, yeah.
At least from
12,
the bottom to the
14
top of this.
Yep.
So vertical standing, not a horizontal sign. You'll see the IH logo and everything, the tractor up here down the side.
Yeah, and it's got metal frame, so this is heavy duty to survive in all outdoor conditions. I think at one point this was either at the Abbottstown location or the Halifax store, if I'm correct.
Okay.
This is at one point was double-sided, but right now this is only a single-sided sign. The bulbs and everything are still up underneath, but as far as an old school New Holland sign, I mean, this is pretty neat.
So the old New Holland sign that would have been out along the road at your New Holland dealership.
A lot of these are really cool and unique, right? You don't just find these dealership signs anywhere.
So some of our older Messick stuff that was floating around on a couple of our other buildings out here. This is the one that was on the top of our service department out here. It's our newer and current logo. We just don't have a good place for it right now. And
I mean, that's a really nice sign. I mean, it has the nice raised lettering. It has two mounting brackets to go with it as well to mount it on the side of a barn or shop.
The Kubota, two Kubota ones here, if you're a real signage collector, are probably the ones that are going to get the most attention, right? Yeah. So this would be a 4x6? 3
yes, I believe it's 4x6, yeah.
4x6 of the double Kubota logo. This would have been out on the side of the building down
283
here,
side,
I
yeah.
believe. And then this one right here is a 3x12 that would have been on the front of what we called the Opie Outdoor Power Building. What really was used as our business office for a number of years. If you watch our Christmas light show, it's the one that's kind of always in the background of that. This is a expensive dealer sign. These are fairly current, actually. Like this one would be less than 10 years old. Give you an idea, when we have to go buy these things today, this is probably about a $4,000 sign. So money tied up in this stuff, but unfortunately anymore, still compliant with dealer standards. If you're a Kubota dealer, save some bucks here, buy my sign.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, all these signs too, unfortunately, when we took them down, we had to cut the wires, right? So they would need to be rewired for the lighting on them. There's really no other way to get them down.
But they all would be functional.
Yeah, for the most part. This one was working the night before we took it down. Now, some of these older ones,
yeah, these are great. The Cub Cadet and steel one.
We have an old Cub Cadet and steel one. These weren't working for a while. It would just never mess with the lighting, but the guts of the wiring is still in there to get it functional, that's for sure.
So we have our giant highway signs.
Yeah.
The big New Holland one in the 4x16 foot Kubota sign back out here at the end. These are the largest signs that are available for dealerships, and the current ones here at the E-Town store.
Right. And don't forget about our Case one.
And the Case one as well. So all three of those, the Case, New Holland, and the Kubota dealership signs. Now, something you should probably know here with these, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, to take these down, it's not going to be an easy job. So we have got a few different quotes from Horse Signs, a local company here near us, to take them down. So I would probably say each one will probably range between $700 and $900 a piece to be taken down.
So we're selling them here in place in order, rather than lumping that expense into this, you know, $700 to $900 if you want to have a local company come and pull it down for you, help you load it onto your truck while you're here, so they could drop it right onto your trailer.
Yeah, I would say if you have any questions on that process, reach out to me. We could definitely discuss that.
We would have put these up ourselves in most cases here. I know the Kubota one we did. So if you have a telehandler or something that can lift high enough, this is something that conceivably could be done by yourself. We don't have equipment in stock right now that lifts high enough.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, otherwise
we tried.
We'd take care of it ourselves.
Right. Even the Kubota one would probably be the easiest out of the three, because underneath the sign up top, it unbolts up underneath, so you can just pick it up and remove it. The other two will have some time invested in there.
Yep. It's a little bit different Crazy Neil's deals, right? Having an auction, cleaning out the old store, a little emotional for us in a couple of ways. It is.
You know, I mean, it's your company, right? Going through all the things, it's definitely got me a little tied into it. I feel like I'm a part of something here, and it's definitely emotional getting some of the old stuff down, and you walk through the hallways and there's nothing around.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a different feeling.
Far more stuff than we can ever make use of ourselves, right? So check the auction out. Hopefully it goes to a good home, to somebody who's gonna find some things here that they value, and hundreds of lots to check out. Nate has done a ton of work getting this ready for you. So if you have questions of anything you see, if you're looking through the auction, we're going to put the links down here in the description, probably up here in the corner, any way that we can make it easy for you to go check this stuff out.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. There's far more stuff for sale than what you just witnessed here in this short video. And this will be a 2-week auction on high bid. If you have any questions how to set up an account or anything, reach out to me. I'll be happy to help you. We'll be the ones taking care of the shipping as well, so we will ship anything that you buy. We'll definitely work with you on that as well.
As we've gone through every step here of moving stores, I feel like I can't say thank you enough, right? We are in our 70th year of business. We worked out of this location for 45 years and are fortunate enough to have this growing business supported by a great group of employees that work with us, an incredibly supportive group of customers, just blown away through this whole moving and construction process, and the sheer level of support that we get from everybody is amazing. Thank you for that. We are so blessed in everything that happens here at Messick's and the supportive environment that we do it in, so thank you. And there are fart amplification possibilities.
Absolutely. And they're even a shade of Kubota one.
Probably don't need my fart amplification in